It'll say live on the screen when we're live. There you go, and we're live.
Perfect.
Thank you all for joining us again. I've got the wonderful Ziryeb here. He's sitting there in Paris, and in case you don't know me by now, if you're on my YouTube channel, then yes, I'm Sheena, and I'm in Cheshire. Now, what Ziryeb and I are doing is he gives me a verse of the Quran, and then I translate it into thinking into results. Well, we actually have a discussion, and we do it between ourselves. Ziryeb already has an idea. And then, we have, I just say what my idea is. So there you go. He's got a great one. I nearly called you Adam because that's what the story's about. So he's got a great one. And so what he does is he's going to read it, and then we'll have a discussion about it and how to live it, what it actually means. Because it's one thing knowing what the Bible or the Quran says. I mean, we're all really good at knowing, but it actually living it is another matter. And in fact, Ziryeb, I don't know about you, if like any examples you have, but I know with my mum, or somebody who would say that they're a Christian, and this may affect, don't be thinking I'm like getting it yet or anything if anybody's listening to this, but here's something for you to think of. I'm here to disrupt your belief system. So if somebody says to me they're Christian and I go, do you believe and you have really strong faith? And they go, yes, absolutely. And then I'll say to them, well, do you worry, doubt, and fear? And they go, oh my goodness, yes, I'm worrying all the time. And I go, well, then that's not faith. That's not faith, is it?
Absolutely.
That's fear. So I don't know what examples you have, because, I would have had that conversation with my mum. She'd gone to mass for 70 odd years and still didn't know what the cross on her head was for on Ash Wednesday. Didn't know what it was for. And so how do we live it? I don't know what examples you've got before we start.
Yeah, I think we all have family members that have they think they have without judgment big faith, but they always worry about the future. They always rethinking about the past, and they don't live their life and the present. And that's why our verses are very interesting, because you have to take your power of thinking, your power of faith, to live your life, and to be and not to experience fear or lack of faith.
I mean, I want to say, like, don't be thinking, anybody listening, that I've got it all sorted. I am literally, and that's what I realized. I thought you did get it sorted, and I thought, oh my goodness, I must be rubbish because I haven't got it sorted. But what I realized is that we never get it sorted. We work on this moment by moment by moment by moment, and when you stop it, you just literally can just get taken back again so easy. And yes, fear does arise, but it's understanding what it is and being able to understand it in the now, rather than living in the fear, to actually be able to switch it to faith. So nobody ever has it. That's what just makes me laugh. I actually did think that you would just get it and then that would be it. People who you just go off and live your life, but it's moment by moment. And I had Peggy McCall on, and she was saying the same thing, how she's got these things all around her house to constantly remind her to stay in the present, to stay in the now, and to watch your thoughts and watch your feelings.
Yes, and the word and the concept, the idea of remember is very important, because it's like that's the discipline to remember every time, every second, every moment who you are, how you really your true essence. And everything is perfect if
do you want to read? Oh, sorry, go on.
And that's why we do the YouTube videos. It's to remember.
Absolutely. There's no way I've got the answer. I've not got anybody's answers, but anyway, maybe we can find some your truth today by listening to this. So what's let's help some people today. Ziryeb, what's the verse you've got?
So it is chapter 20, and the verse is 115. Um, and indeed, we made a covenant with Adam before, but he forgot, and we found on his part no firm willpower.
I haven't got it, so you're going to have to read it all.
And 116, and when we say to the angels, prostrate yourselves to Adam, they prostrated, all except Satan, who refused. 117, then we said, O Adam, verily this is enemy to you and to your wife, so let him not get you both out of the paradise, so that you will be distressed in misery. 118, verily you have that you will never be hungry therein, nor naked. 119, and you will suffer not from thirst therein, nor from the sun's heat. 120, then Satan whispered to him, saying, O Adam, shall I lead you to the tree of eternity, and to a kingdom that will never waste away? 121, then they both ate of the tree, and so their private parts appeared to them, and they began to stick on themselves the leaves from the paradise for the covering. Thus did Adam disobey his Lord, so he went astray. We continue, Shina?
No, that's probably enough what it is there. I'm just making notes again on what you're saying. So what did you get when you first read it and contemplated on it, and why did you send that particular one?
For me, it was about the first verse. Um, in the maybe in our Western education, we don't give a good understanding to willpower. So for us, we're not aware about our great power that we have, that have been given to us from God. So and you have to know where you are and where you want to go. So I think everyone who's listening to this video needs to know where is his willpower. So for me, God is giving us an insight, or giving us like idea, or a concept that is very important to have a firm willpower. That was the idea for me. And so for me, it is about maybe lesson 5, and about this verse.
Yeah, certainly the first one, lesson 5, because like lesson 5 and thinking into results, when we study it, it's literally, what perception are you coming from? Are you coming from the perception, again, this is linked to science, that the perception of the human, or the perception of the all that is, that when we constantly are told where everything is one and everything is light, and that's proven by science. And so this body here on the front is merely an icon, but it thinks it's the bee's knees. It thinks it's got the answer to everything, when actually it's just the front screen. And the whole power that is the stuff that we can't actually see, that's actually creating. And so the willpower is to stay in the discipline of putting God first, or putting me first. What do I mean by me? I mean me as in the vibration that I am, which is what God is. God is a frequency. God is a energy. Well, it's not even an energy. It's behind all that. It is what we cannot see, but we can sense it, which is why we say about living in the presence, the pre-sense. Before your senses, I am closer to you than your breath. So that's about living there, and acknowledging that spirit that you are first and foremost, And then, as you said, as that, Ziryeb, that you've given an idea, and that there's, of where you want to go. And you can hold that in your imagination. Just go, well, no, that's where I was given the directions. That's where I'm going. That's my goal. I was given that. I didn't make it up. I was given it. Like, where did you get the thought from? Like, it just appeared in your head. Like the virgin birth, it just appeared in your head. It just appeared. Nobody had to put it in. So you were given that idea. And it's either one you want or one you don't want. And you can choose one you want. Well, then go on that. It's been given. And so the willpower is to stay in your imagination rather than make it happen in the world. Because when we look at the 4 levels of consciousness, it's the first one is like victim consciousness, life is happening to me. But the next one is happening, life is happening by me. And that's where the willpower that people use, the willpower in the external world. I'm going to make it happen, make it, and I'm going to use force and energy. Whereas the next 2, we're sort of rising above. We're just going, life is happening for me, and life is happening as me. And it's just that little journey that we're that everybody's going on. So yes, lesson 5, absolutely. And it all starts with your perception of who you are, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So you better have the right conception, the right perception.
It is. It's starting with that. I remember Bob saying that, actually. He said, before you do anything, do lesson 5. Get your perception right.
Yeah.
First and foremost. So it's a good one to have. I mean, the whole story, it's kind of funny, isn't it? It's like, you've got no willpower. I mean, that's where it says, like, you were born in sin. Born in sin meaning separation. So you were born in separation. And then you get you can stay here in the perception of, I am spirit, I am all that is, I am this energy, and you won't suffer. It doesn't mean that life's not going to happen. It doesn't mean that you're not going to feel pain. It just says you're not going to suffer. Because suffering is a choice. Suffering is something that, somebody did something to you 10 years ago and you're still thinking about it. Somebody did something to you yesterday and you're still thinking about it. That's suffering. Don't know if you've got anything else to add to that.
Yes. Everything is perception, and everything is a choice with willpower. So it's just a decision about your perception and your willpower. So and if you want to summarize everything, for me, your word about the discipline of putting God first. It's all about it.
Yeah. Whatever God means to you, you can do it like Allah, Jehovah, God, energy, spirit, source, whatever name. It's because there's 8 billion different perceptions and concepts of that word. There's 8 billion people on the planet, and everybody has a different feeling about that, each one of those words. It's quite amazing, isn't it? So
Yeah.
it's the one thing with 8 billion different perceptions around it.
Experience, yeah.
Yeah. But one of the things is, the last thing you said was about, if you disobey the Lord. I think it said then about suffering. But when I was listening to studying some stuff with Neville Goddard, he said to change the word Lord into law. So if you disobey the law, you will suffer. And that's the law of the universe. And so when it's quite funny when so like even the saying, like, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. So the law is my guidance. And I know that I already have. And if you disobey the law, then you think that you don't have, in which case you suffer and you're in want. Because wanting is suffering. I mean, that's what I realized. Wanting is actually suffering. But I know that Bob teaches us, what do you want? But it's meant to be an initial change your focus. ask, believe, receive, change your focus. That's where I'm
Direction.
going. That's what I want. And that's where the willpower is to stay on that.
Yeah.
Nothing to
Yeah,
say, Sarah. It's amazing. I just out of one wee passage how you could, like, I could talk forever on this and just go, oh my God, and it leads to this and it leads to that. So for me, how do I live that passage is focus on who I am, which means who am I, how am I feeling, you know? So if you were to have a book written about you, what would you want it to say? You know, so not here's a story of my life back there. No, what's the story of your life you want it to be now? And to live from that place. So again, it's lesson one. And here's the thing, actually, Ziryeb, I also saw that it was lesson one. You know, when you start with I am, and I am a millionaire, I am a #1 Bob Proctor consultant. So whatever the I am is, but we put the Bob Proctor consultant before the I am, when really it's the I am is before the Bob Proctor consultant. Isn't it kind of funny how, so say you wanted to be a millionaire, you go, I am a millionaire, but you put money in front of the I am.
yeah,
But the sentence is, I am a millionaire. So the I am is the God, is the source code, if you like. When people don't realize that's the source code, I am, and anything else is secondary. But we put the money in front of the I am. So it's like money, I am. But no, it says I am money. And lesson one is about really focusing on what you want, but then dropping it and understanding who the I am is and who you choose to be. Knowing who you are, but you're playing a role. So, and the willpower to stay in that role, knowing that if you break the law, if you disobey the law, you will suffer. And you've got nobody to blame but yourself. How fun's that?
I like it. And that's the law. Yeah, it is like this order.
Yeah.
So you can't serve two masters. You can't be in order and disorder. You're either in order or disorder. So I think all this verse points to the same thing, is to be in alignment with the the right order. So your willpower will help you to, and your perception to see the real order, and your self-image also. You see it in the other verse, which is speak about what speaks about the fact that angels prostrate to Adam. So that's your true self-image. You have this power, you have this rank, you have this powers, God powers that you have. So you have to respect them, you have to use them, and to choose paradise and not to choose hell. So if you don't respect the order, you will be in hell. And if you respect the order, use your will, you use your perception to your target, to your goal, you will be in heaven. And your goal is your heaven.
I love how you brought up angels there, because like, I have sent you nothing but angels. And so everything is a gift, but people may think that their life, when it goes into disorder, because it can go into chaos when you start following the law, because everything else falls apart around you. But actually, when you stick with the I am, that I am, then you will be in order. It's like being in the middle. It could be very much like the middle of being in a tornado. You're in the middle here, and the world can do what the heck it wants. It can chuck things around, but you are holding firm in the middle.
Yeah.
And I guess
That-
I could really describe my situation right now just like that. And that's it. We just sort of go, well, I'm in the eye of the storm. Off you go. So I've got nothing else to add. Gosh, we were on for 20 minutes there. So Ziryeb, is there anything else?
For me, just focus on what you want, and that's it.
And focus on the I am.
Yeah,
That comes before it.
absolutely.
Super duper. So that's the end of us today, guys. So I will see you next time, and
Thank
Ziryeb
you.
will see you next time as well.
Thank you, Sheena.